What's going on, guys? It is your boy TKD. Want to do here back in Plays Stores. This is a brand new, we did 2 in a week. What? 2 in a week? I'm crazy. I'm always like, oh, I'm so busy. I can't do this, can't do that. But no, in 2023, let's launch 2 new shows because why not? But this is Let's Watch, the new podcast series brand dedicated to any and all things PlayStation movies and TV show coverage because I needed a space to cover these PlayStation productions. You know what I'm saying, Mario? Like I gotta at least talk about it.
You gotta. They're coming out rapid. Got some good ones coming out.
A rapid clip. We got one on the horizon, which is the main topic here. Let's watch the Last of Us HBO show, where we are going week to week with our thoughts and review of the Last of Us HBO series for season 1 on an episode by episode basis, week to week, and we'll end off the series with a full look at season 1 as a whole. How did they do? How did Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin do? You know what I'm saying? But with me, of course, the Point in Progress. I like that. Mario Rivera, co-founder of Point in Progress, and has been around the industry as a whole. Mario, how are you, good sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. I'm very excited to be here talking about The Last of Us, hanging out with the one and only Kevin Diaz, be a source. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good, man. Doing good. A booked and busy, as usual.
Yeah,
clearly. You know what I'm saying? We just, we just got a lot. But like I'm very happy that Let's Watch, right, is beginning with The Last of Us because Road 2 started with The Last of Us. It was Road to The Last of Us Part 2 was Road to Part 2 was the first Road 2 podcast, So it's like, if it's going to be a new anything, it's got to be Last of Us related. So happy to get into it. If you are familiar with Road 2 podcast, it is very much going to be like Let's Watch. It's very much like this, where we're going week by week, covering the latest and all that. We got some news bits here to talk about as well, just like on Road 2 podcast. And then, it's just basically for the TV series and shows that will come out of PlayStation Productions. We have Horizon Zero Dawn. I believe that's a series. We have a God of War series, which
a Gran Turismo movie, which I thought was a series.
I want to go back and do Uncharted as well because I actually think that movie's not that bad. I actually like that movie.
I have it on Blu-ray. I think it's a good game. I think it's a good movie as well.
Good watch.
Honestly,
I was very much like critical. I was like, man, I don't know how I feel about it, but I gotta be honest, and it ended up being pretty good.
I mean, the only thing that they did wrong was they had that, was it a pizza joint? I forget what was the pizza joint in the movie?
I think it was Papa John's, right?
Papa John's, right? And should have been a Subway. That's all. My only criticism of the movie.
You right.
That's it.
You right. Damn. Mm-hmm. Other than that, flying colors, huh?
That's right.
Damn, look at that. Look at that. Official right there. But yeah, there's plenty more Twisted Metal, which I've never played Twisted Metal. I gotta learn that.
This guy named Sweet Tooth and there's cars. That's all I know.
Yeah, so. It sounds like that. But that will be in the future, of course. But links below to where Mario is at, but I'll let Mario do the pitch. Introduce yourself to the people. You know what I'm saying? Where can people find you? All that good stuff.
Yeah, well, I guess you can just say like a video creator coming up here in the old gaming media space. I got my start really with DualShockers over there. Became their video lead on their YouTube channel. At that time, just developing content during the pandemic and sort of being on the fly with interviews and hanging out with people and podcasting. Slowly then transitioned over to Tech Raptor, where I was in control and I gave as many people as opportunities as I possibly could into breaking into the gaming media space, including Kevin doing some awesome reviews for us over there. So thank you again for that. And then, right over at Point in Progress, where I'm making my own thing and just trying to still crack that little thing that we call success in this industry. So trying my best. But yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
There's a group of us, right? I don't know how you would describe us, right? I don't know how you would gauge us, right? But like, there's that group of us that like, we all owe a lot to you, Mario. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mean to like, put you on a high post, but I'm gonna put you on a high post because everyone in this space that we operate in on Twitter and on YouTube and streaming and whatever, if you're podcasting, if you're a writer, like if you're breaking into the games industry, right? Mario has helped you at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like 100%. Like that's just always how it would be. Like Mario always makes it a very very serious point to always put you on wherever he can fit you on. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta get flowers to you. We always love Mario. I love Mario. You know, love you, bro. You know what I'm saying? You but like wholeheartedly, like you do the most for those around you, you know. And that really does me a lot, you know. So shout out to you. Shout out to you.
I appreciate that. Thank you for glazing me up. Yeah, no, thank you so much. And yeah, let's keep it going.
Let's have to get it going here. Links below down there for Mario to find him and all that good stuff. But news number one, let's just go over the reviews for Last of Us HBO season 1. They are breaking as of today. A lot of positive buzz. It was able to hold 100% perfect score for a few hours in the early and the way early hours in the morning when the embargo lifted. Since it zipped to an 84, which I was like, okay, damn, like that's a steep. But then when you look, it's like 25 reviewers so far, and there's like one that's like a 50 and one that's a I think a 67 that bring the whole score down like to like a B. You know what I'm saying? But overall, when you're looking at outlets, a lot of people are definitely positive about it. I have a few different episodes that I sent out as well. IGN gave it a 9 out of 10, saying that it's a breathtaking adaptation of one of the most impactful stories told in video games and brilliantly brings Joel and Ellie's journey to a whole new audience. We have Hollywood Reporter saying it's a powerful video game adaptation, saying it's the best video game adaptation ever made for the big or small screen. You know, but then I wanted to pick out some of the medium and low ones. Okay, like I want to just be, you know, all positive. Yeah. So with Entertainment Weekly, they gave it a 67 out of 100, saying that the scope is vast for better and for worse. There are big deal guest leads. The action is fine and functional and stuff like that. And they quote that one episode completely shifts the game's canon, which I'm very intrigued by. And others are recreation for shot. So I think they're having like an overall opinion on like, is this trying to be a direct imitation and adaptation of the game itself, or are they going on their own thing and making their own lore and stuff like that? I think that was meaning like their kind of critique of that. And then we have an outlet, last one, called Slant Magazine, that says, in the end, by stripping out the gameplay from a vivid genre game that's fleshed out by cinematic and televisual tropes, the series ends up as mostly just the latter. All flesh, no bones. God damn. How you feel, Mario? How you feel? You've had the morning and helped the day to look over all these reviews. What are people saying? How you feel about it?
I am mostly trying to not necessarily avoid, obviously, reading what the individuals have to say, because I would like to just go in full bore with my own opinion. That being said, hearing the number and hearing how the number has dropped a little bit. Listen, this is no Megan. All right. This isn't going to be 97%. But at the same time, I'm still happy that at least it's seemingly a majority of people are giving it its flowers and are saying that this is going to be something worth watching, more than just a, hey, this is just an adaptation of a said video game, right? We've come up so far. I mean, in my opinion, we started with obviously Double Dragon and Mortal Kombat and all those movies, and those are varying degrees. I of course left out Super Mario Brothers in the movie. Don't shout out to John Leguizamo. But now we're getting past that. We're getting the Arcanes. We're getting the Cyberpunks. We're getting all of these. Uncharted, I would still say. And I think that we're finally in this realm of like video games as a storytelling medium in the movie sense or the television sense is finally getting its legs. And I'm happy to see that Last of Us was already basically a movie itself. Let's be fair. Majority of that game is just telling the cinematic story. Of course, it would work over this 9-episode or 8-episode, length of time. So yeah, I'm glad that this is at least appealing, hopefully, to more audiences out there. Maybe getting people to then buy PlayStations and then check out the game itself. So it's doing what it's made to do, get people interested in Last of Us.
Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah, and you did mention something where it's like Last of Us is like basically a movie, right? And like I think you can attribute a lot of the PlayStation first party to that, where like they do have an emphasis on story and narrative, right? And like the way their cutscenes have at times a filmic quality to them, right? Like it's not hard to imagine like, hey, like you can pick any of the big first party and you take that story and bring it to a script and bring it to a movie director, like they're going to be able to make something that is still good, right? And like that it definitely still stands true. And like that was one of the qualities that like of way back when I couldn't play it still, but I watched a Let's Play of Last of Us like in 2013. I was not allowed to play it yet, so,
No, for sure.
But yeah, I love this narrative, right? So like, bottom line, it's like PlayStation first party tend to have really good narratives usually, right? I'm just like you, where like I'm incredibly more. I like really because I've been telling my mom like, hey, like I want you to watch this. You know, I really do because like you're never gonna pick up a duel. That's not happening. You know, but I really just want to see how you feel about Last of Us, right? And we're gonna see how it goes in terms of the wider general public for sure, and we'll see. And seeing mostly good stuff, it seems to be hopefully a good product. I've been long on the record saying I am of the opinion well, I was a long time saying this where I was like, there's no way that this is bad, right? Like in terms of HBO's quality and what they do. I love a lot of the HBO shows out there. Big fan of Euphoria, etc., stuff like that. I've just long said that like you take the Last of Us story, bring it to HBO, like there's no way it can be bad. And we're not seeing that here. You know, we're seeing mixed opinions, and we'll see how, you know, we feel when we get to watch it and everything. We're very close to it. But so far so good. So we'll see.
No, absolutely. And the fact that there is so much diversity in opinions, even though it's, you know, I'm still excited to see it. Can't wait. This at least doesn't make this show a drag for how many episodes?
Yeah.
Or we're just like,
it's 10.
Oh
right?
God.
Yeah, 10.
Yeah. I think it's like 10 or 8. Yeah, 10 or 9 or something like that. So
10
I'm
episodes.
just glad that we don't have to worry about that.
That's true.
For the most part.
That's true. That's true. Next story here. It was something that, you know, I think which one said it? Entertainment Weekly has said that like they have certain things that where they see shifts in the game's canon, right? Mm-hmm. And you know, I read this last week, right? And like, you know, I wanted to really just like give it a chance, but we're gonna see how it goes. The Last of Us HBO is replacing spores with tendrils, right? I have a few quotes here from the Eurogamer article that I linked below in the description, but they basically describe that rather than having the cordyceps infection in The Last of Us be something that is spread through the air, via the spores, and you can also obviously get bit and stuff like that, but they changed it to where now it will be able to spread by tendrils that become a network that is interconnected. And we have some quotes here from the people that made this, of course, Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin. They say, quote, "It was important for us to acknowledge that the audience is smarter about pandemics than they were 5 years ago. We don't want to pretend that they don't know things. A lot of the reason this show begins the way it does with that scene in the 60s. Wait, what?
Oops, spoilers.
Excuse me?
Well, we're about to find out next week. So,
and it says in brackets, likely the scene shown in a now deleted behind the scenes video, which depicted the talk show. Okay, interesting. Okay, that depicted a talk show discussing infection in the 60s. Okay.
Okay.
They say, quote, "Look, the context is there are viral pandemics and they are quite dangerous, but there's something out there that's worse, and it may sound funny to you, but let me explain why. Oh, that's not good. And also, it's been there all along, so when the outbreak happens, it's not happening suddenly or capriciously, it's finally happening. It was always gonna happen. We just happened to be there today to see it." Okay, so they have there's a lot there. There was a spoiler there. I didn't know that the show started in the 60s or something like that. That's interesting. But it's instead like a tendril network, right?
Yes.
I don't want to write it off, right? But I do have a bit of a problem with it in the vein of like looking specifically at Joel and Ellie, right? Neil Druckmann has always said that like The Last of Us is about Joel and Ellie. He's always said that years on end. Like that's a very, very permanent thing, right? And one of and like, and I'll pass on to you like after this, but like my main thing of not having spores is you recall when right after Tess dies in the original Last of Us and you're going down into the subway system for the spores. Joel gets his mask and everything, and then Ellie doesn't. And then that's the first time Joel starts to turn in his head like, oh, she might be telling the truth. Like, she really might be immune for real, you know? And like, I just felt like that was a very just powerful way of not only making the player educated about the world of The Last of Us and the infection itself and how it spreads and all that with the spores and what the spores are and the threat of it, by seeing Joel's like shock and like, yo, put your mask on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they did so much in that scene, and like we're not gonna get that, you know? So that's kind of where I'm at. But let me know, Mario. What's up? What do you got?
No, I in a lot of ways I agree. I mean, the fact that that was introduced to that character and how that the character makes that character special, specifically the fact that they are the only one that can breathe through that sort of environment, and that comes into play multiple times throughout the series, for Ellie to have sort of that ability, especially when there's other people involved, and specifically with this instance, yeah, it's to me, it's a character thing. It's a thing about them bonding and figuring this out of like, hey, this person is special. At the same time, I can see why. I actually watched a couple videos as well of Craig Mazin talking about like how realistically it probably doesn't make sense to have this airborne thing because then everybody would be infected very quickly. Or as someone who's experienced, the last 3 years, an actual pandemic of people putting masks on their face. I can see how that could also be a little off-putting for some people. But I think that putting in this other idea that there's sort of this interconnected network, which I guess in a lot of ways makes sense. It makes them sort of like a hive mind in some way. That's how, it's very much, it to me, it connects it more with the zombie thing of the biting. Once you are infected, truly. Even though that is a concept, obviously, in the Last of Us show. But overall, I think that I'm willing to let the show show me a way that will still make me connect to the characters, even if it's just the arbitrary thing that it's this sort of air-like substance that no one can breathe except for Ellie, and shows that she is the special one. So I don't know. I'm willing to give it a shot for sure.
Right. Yeah. I am too. Yeah, and like I'm not gonna be like, oh, show's ass because like there's no spores. Like I think that's a little. I think that's very extreme, right? And like I don't think anybody should be doing that. But I think
if you are, stop it.
Yeah, like bro, like you know what I'm saying. I'll go make you a sport bomb. Some
Yeah, go outside, touch grass. Go touch some spores or something.
Touch some spores. Breathe it in. So good.
Maybe not. Man. I take that back. Maybe not.
Some of you might have to. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Who knows? Man.
It's called cologne. Continue.
Lord. But yeah, like I think one of the big things that like what I really want to see in PlayStation productions, right, is I want these properties to be able to be as entertaining to the gamer that played them to the same amount as the mom and dad or just the person that doesn't play games and experiences the show for itself, and that's their main touchstone, right? Like I want both of those audiences to feel properly enjoyed with the content, right? And an idea that I always think that is what I would do personally, right? Is I would make these shows and TV and movie properties, right? Like if you want to, retread that same story, yeah, sure. But like inevitably, like there will be things that like don't match, right? Like I think that just more than likely, right? So I would have loved to see certain different stories within the same universe that give context to things in the game itself, right? And that's really like what I was hoping like this show would kind of get at, right?
Yeah.
So on that standpoint, it's like, okay, have tendrils existed in The Last of Us at all, right? Like you get what I'm saying? Where like I'm a little just because like I was hoping that like it would be able to just add context to the world itself and not granted it's a very minor break in lore, right? Let's keep it honest, you know what I'm saying? But like it is a bit of a break in the lore, and that's where my main thing is like at, but and there's go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I think in connection with what you're saying, like, yes, I agree that, like, hey, I'm happy that they're adding something I say new to the world. At the same time, I do like that they're also trying to change things, at least branch out, and that eventually could follow other stories.
Hmm.
So like I think the one thing you're going to bring up, like a good example of this is there's the Walking Dead comic book, there's the Walking Dead TV show, but the game that the thing that resonated with me the most is the video game, the actual Telltale Walking Dead video game,
Right.
and how it was in the same confines of the history and stories of the Walking Dead shows and movies, or TV shows, sorry, and comics, but it was its own story. But it had the confines of those, and I feel like that's what I wish that Last of Us had. But obviously, we're gonna follow that. We're gonna tell the beginning and end of this Joel and Ellie story. I would have liked them to have actual side stories that maybe, hey, this the whole '60s things that you brought up. Maybe there is a spinoff, House of Dragon, where we talk about that. Like, what's going on? How did this start? And the beginning of the Fireflies would be interesting. Like, I
Yeah.
wish they could have gone in all those type of different directions,
Yeah. I
which we
mean,
might get after this, because who knows? They apparently are telling the entire story in one season. So,
yeah. And like, there's a lot of room in those 20
mhm.
years. We know
Yes,
so little about that. And like, I've been dying to like explore that
yes,
realm of like Joel being a hunter. What does Tommy allude to when, Tommy said, "You made me do horrible shit"? The things that Joel alludes to Ellie and stuff like that. Even the small things Joel and Tess have in that 20 year. Like there's so much in there that I have to assume we will see some of that here in the show, right? But
yeah,
that's kind of where like I wish we got some of that like clean, like okay, yeah, like this,
of course.
there's like a chronological way to experience Last of Us where you have the show, and then you have the game, and then maybe there's a little bit after the show, stuff like that, like part two and stuff like that. But we'll see. You know what? But I'm not gonna go crazy over no sports. And there's also a lot of people, and I don't necessarily disagree with it, but like there's, and I do want to hear your point on this too, where like
Mhm.
my cousin was saying, like, hey, maybe this was because they don't want these A-list actors to be in gas masks for certain
No,
scenes, and I'm like,
100% makes sense.
I'm
To
like,
be
okay,
honest,
yeah, that makes sense, but that's just kind of unfortunate. But I'm like, I thought we kind of got over that with like Mandalorian. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
but
kind of thought,
the thing is, they're not in those masks all the time in the game either. So it's like it's always these
yeah,
select things.
I mean, that's what I was thinking
Yeah.
too. I'm like, yo, like these are very just like insulated, scenes in the game anyway.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. If anything, the whole purpose of them is just to give tension, is to give the fact that Joel needs to keep that thing on, otherwise he will die. That literally is
Yeah,
all that really ultimately ends up being. And if they're able to find a different way for that to be appealing, then I'm all for it. In terms of the tendrils, like I haven't seen visually what they mean by them, other than obviously it's just a connected thing of these interconnected hive mind. So I'm curious. I'm very curious of like how they're gonna go about it. I've actually been very happy how little they've been showing the clickers and showing
yeah.
just little glimpses of like here's the bloater and stuff like that. And they actually, I think they hinted at a new version in there somewhere. So I'm very curious about that. There was some interview I saw that like had something about it. So I'm curious to see
Oh, a
what
new
their
one.
yeah, something that hasn't been in the game yet. So I'm
Interesting.
curious
Okay. I mean,
to see how that will look.
my like lore head now is like going crazy because like,
Yeah, no,
um,
I'm thinking about the thing and the two, and I'm like, oh man,
well, for me, it's like, I mean, how we get different. You know this, but for those that don't, like
yes,
in the Last of Us, what type of enemy that you encounter all depends on how long they've been infected and still alive,
yes,
right?
yes, yes,
So there's like stages to that where you end up being a runner, and then eventually you become a bloater, and then eventually,
yeah,
if you
like an
have a lot of,
actual long
yeah,
clicker.
yeah,
Yeah,
shamblers in there as well, yeah, like
yeah,
etc.
yeah,
Right? So like there could easily be more.
yes,
Like I don't think that's like lore breaking, right? Like if you told me like that there's like there's like a very specific stage that happens that's temporary in
hmm,
between a runner and a shambler, like okay, that's cool.
yeah,
Like I'm with that, right? So that I don't feel is like necessarily like lore breaking. Like I think that's adding to
no,
it. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, yeah,
But we'll
for
see,
sure.
we'll see. That's
Yeah,
about
well,
that's about it for the news. I don't think we'll see like I don't think we'll have any major news like for future episodes, but just wanted to just give us those two major things just to kind of just go
yeah.
off of. But main topic of the show here, what does the Last of Us HBO mean to Mario Rivera. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to give you, just your full stance, how you feel about the game when you first play it, what your thoughts on it. You could even touch part 2. Why not? Why not? Let's bring that into just like overall, like, how do you view The Last of Us?
Well, you can't really see in this camera view because I don't have it wide enough, but in the background, I do have a Last of Us 2 statue of Ellie playing the guitar. It is right behind me. So I will say this. I am an absolute massive fan of The Last of Us. The reason primarily is because it brought me back to gaming. There has been a long period of my life after, I think, high school where I just wasn't playing as much games anymore as I used to, wasn't very much keeping up with the medium. It wasn't until I got back into college and I had these wonderful group of friends. I'll even mention their names, like Ray Collins, Tony Anthony, Angry Bird, all you guys. They were obsessed with this game, and they would show it in the classroom on the giant screen, and we'd watch like developer commentary of like when they were developing it and like showing Jelly like throw the rock and like do all that stuff. And I was like, oh, this looks cool. This looks awesome. I didn't have a console at this moment. And one of them bought me a PS3 for the first time. I never played a PS3.
Wow.
I became an Xbox person. Sorry, PlayStation source. I became an Xbox person after the PS2 because the PS2 had a disc reading error and it pissed me off and I didn't want to play it anymore. So I jumped ship and went to Xbox 360 for that period of time. Totally missed out on the PS3. PS4 was out, by the way, at this time, I think, when I started playing Last of Us. But my friends bought me a PS3 version of The Last of Us that was like the side the top loader, but it came with the game. And that was the first game, my first instance playing games in a long time. And it blew me away. The story, again, cinematic as all hell. That was actually the first Naughty Dog that I played since Crash Bandicoot, by the way. Let's put that in perspective. So I missed a huge jump between Jack, Drake, and then now going straight to The Last of Us. And it was not necessarily just the story of The Last of Us. It's the world of Last of Us. The reason why they bought me the console is so that I could play factions with them.
Hell yeah.
And we did every
we love it.
night.
We love it.
We did it every night for hours on end. Factions is one of the best multiplayers. I don't care.
Speak on it. Speak on it.
I can't wait for Factions 2, if that's what they're calling it, whatever we want to do. But the best part, like I said, the PS4 was actually already out at this time. They already had the remastered version, I think, a year after the PS4 came out. Mm-hmm. They decided not to play that one so they could play the PS3 version with me.
Damn.
And so I am forever indebted to all those guys for giving me back into gaming. And so very much, Mike who bought the system. But yeah, Last of Us means the world to me. It brought me back it brought me friendship. It brought me back into gaming. It got me here in a lot of ways, to be honest with you, that be in front of this camera and talking about video games this so late, And so the game itself is remarkable for the many world connections that it created, the tendrils, if you will, that brought me here. So yeah, no, thank you. But real quick before I pass it on to you, when I got to go to E3 for the first time in 2016, and one of the first people I met, other than Lucy O'Brien from IGN, wonderful person, Neil Druckmann, walked past me, and I met Neil Druckmann. And he signed. I have a book. He signed my book.
I was fucking fillet, bro.
And then he walked into the distance. And then I met Ashley Johnson later. It was great.
Hell
and then
yeah.
Troy Baker years later. So yeah.
Was it so? What? So 2016. That was probably long hair era. Neil,
it was
right?
long hair era.
Long
Neil,
hair era.
Neil Druckmann.
Uh-huh.
Yes, this is like
good times.
I think Uncharted. Yeah, Uncharted 4 just came out because Lucy O'Brien reviewed it, and we were talking about her review. So. It just literally came out. I actually had the steelbook in my backpack too. I had someone else sign it. I just had him sign my book.
Nice.
I'll take a picture and I'll post it before this releases.
Hell yeah. Very good.
Super
very
cool.
good.
Yeah.
For me, I played Uncharted 1 and 2, right, back on PS3, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because my mom was cool with that, right, but not cool with the overrated M, right? Except COD. COD was a different beast. COD was always, gets the pass and like.
And have hot coffee in COD.
No, they don't. And like, during that era, I was still very much a COD fanboy, where like all I pretty much did was play COD. Like Marvel 2, Black Ops 1, like that. That was definitely a phase in my gaming career, right? But then I don't know if you know this creator, but Chris Move. I love
No.
Chris Move. He does a lot of 2K nowadays, which I'm not super into 2K, but like he would
Sure.
do Let's Plays, right? And he did the Last of Us Let's Play, and I kept hearing on Podcast Beyond, shout out Beyond, you know, and I attribute Podcast Beyond to a lot of where I wanted to start making content, and they were nonstop about The Last of Us, Naughty Dog, coming off the backs of Uncharted 3, this and the third. And then I saw on my sub box Chris Moon playing it. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let me just watch it, see what's up, right? Blown away. It was really, and this is getting into like another question and like what I really hope to see in this show. And I'm happy that if this is the case, no one's saying it. They better just recreate the intro.
Oh yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
hope they understand, and like that may not be the case based off of that quote that we read by Eurogamer. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see, but like I hope people, and like I hope they understand like how poignant that 20 minutes is in the beginning of Last of Us. Like it is
I
nothing.
I
like
still
it. Please,
say,
go ahead. Yeah.
I still say to people, it's like, or what it's like, they'll ask like, what are you up to? And I'm like, drugs, hardcore drugs.
It's so good, man. No,
Just
it's
because
so
of,
good.
because of Sarah.
It's so good. Like that
Oh, man.
that intro and like how quickly it gets to where you're at, and it's able to explain like you're not learning where it exactly came from. You're not, it's just, yeah, I mean, we learned off newspapers that it was a bacterial thing with different crops in South America that first started, and then it started to, branch out and everything. So that, oh, wait a minute.
I don't know, did you just
Interesting
have,
how like in the lore, this virus started off in crops and like we have tendrils and interesting. That's that's okay. Interesting.
the
Okay.
gears are coming together, ladies
Okay.
and gentlemen.
I
And non-bees.
I got some more videos to make for sure. I feel like we definitely got some more. But besides that, like just this game is so good. And like for me, like what I long have said since I first watched it, and then I finally got to play it. I think I played it around like 2016, I think, something like that.
Okay.
I played the PS4 version, of course.
Yeah.
And recently I played part 1. I think you did as well, I assume, right? I don't know if you played part 1.
I've not, and I want to. The thing is that I have a steelbook of Last of Us Part 2, and I gotta get the first one. Like,
Yeah.
and it's I can't find it anywhere now. I tried.
Okay.
So if anyone shout out to anybody in the audience, if you can send me a Firefly, I think it's called the Firefly edition.
Yeah, 5 edition.
I'll pay you $50.
Okay.
It costs 100, but I'll give you 50.
Here's my word, okay? Here's my word. After the show, I want you to give me your address, right? If I see it on sale, I'm gonna just buy it and just send it to you.
All right.
And then
Sounds good.
we'll just figure it out later. So you'll have a second set of eyes on it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't come fucked up like the others. Oh my god, that shit was insane. That was crazy.
Oh,
That was so disappointing, bro. God damn. That was wild. I hope they figured that out. But nah, like, I mean, this wasn't. Oh, okay, no. So the biggest takeaway and like one of the main things that I connect The Last of Us to in terms of like my gaming taste and my gaming career as a whole, right? If you want to call it that,
Yes.
is that The Last of Us showed me that games can be something more. Like that's truly how I feel. I'm not saying that it's the first game to ever have an emotional thing. Like obviously there's been Mass Effect 3 was around that era too. Like there's been plenty of emotion through games, even going way further back than Last of Us, right? But
Kevin,
yeah,
you and me are the prime example of experiencing Metal Gear late in life when we would have had that. There's so many things in those stories that I'm like, oh my god, if I had that so early on.
you're so right, bro.
So-
Sniper Wolf's death, like that would have fucked me up.
oh my
That
god.
would have fucked me up, bro. Oh my god, that would have been goddamn. Oh man, whew.
Devastated.
Yeah. So like, obviously, there's other examples, right? But like,
Yes.
for me personally, it was Last of Us that was like games can be a lot more than just unlocking this site, on this attachment, playing,
Yeah.
you know, Rust's 1v1s. Like it can be a lot more than just the gameplay, right?
Yeah.
Not that Last of Us is,
Games are more
yeah.
than 360 no scopes. All right.
Exactly.
Yes.
They're more than tack insert fakies, you know, across the wall. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, there's more than games than that. You know? And like that's Last of Us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
there's just a lot more than the fakie why Claymore fakie no scope. You know, like it's really incredible. And like
Yeah.
all jokes aside, like I just hope they keep the same beginning and the same end, because I think you have to end on the line.
Oh my god. I even fathomed this thing that they could end exactly like that. And
You
if they
have
do,
to.
you fucking nail it. You fucking
Because that's it. Like you have
Yeah.
to end on the line. You have to end on the line, bro. You
You
can't
have to.
you can't go any further. No, just end on the line and then we're good. Like that's how
Mm-hmm.
you close season 1, and I hope they do that. If they don't, you know, we'll see.
No.
We'll see. We'll see.
Shout out though if they do the singing ending from the
Oh yeah, that's a deep cut. That's a deep cut. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, I have a few just small questions here, but like,
Mhm.
I feel like we're both pretty excited about this. You know what I'm saying? I shared some things that I was really hoping to see in this show. Is there anything in specific that you're really yearning to see, yearning to learn? I hope they show a perspective on something like that. Maybe an insight on this plot point. Like, what are you looking for in terms of like expectations overall?
Overall, I am actually very excited for them to explore some of the side characters that you get to meet throughout the game itself. And Joe and Ellie is going to be the thrust of it, but I do want more of Bill. I do want to see more of that, in which I'm happy to hear that there is more to that. So I'm very excited about that. I'm also very excited for Sam and Henry to see that story. And I remember the recent trailer that came out, and then you can see the like school stuff where they're like in the when you know when you're like wash ashore and then you go one underground and then that's the whole sequence.
Yeah.
They find a little school stuff that's in the trailer, and I was like, oh my god, they're going there.
Oh,
This is
it's
gonna be
really in the
wild.
oh, because I've been so busy.
Yeah.
I haven't broken down that trailer. God damn, that sucks. Oh,
Yeah,
man,
so-
that's gonna be heavy.
Yeah, it's gonna be heavy, but at least I'm curious to see how those characters are more fleshed out and developed. I did actually find out the casting of oh my god, why he's Iron Man. Oh my god, his brother Tommy. Diego Luna's his wife in the show is gonna be played by, I believe, Ruth Wesley. She was on True Blood.
Okay.
She played Tara, if you remember that character. Love her. Very excited. I'm very excited to see potentially what she brings to that character as well. So yeah, I'm those are the major things. Billstown as well. I do want to see how that
yeah.
happens, and how it goes. But yeah, I think those are the minor moments, and then of course everything that happens during the winter section. I'm very curious how they handle that.
Yeah,
Very curious.
I am too. Yeah. I do wonder, because I mean, one of the most, again, like another like very famous Last of Us shot is like Joel consoling Ellie after,
Yes.
and like they're in this lodge and it's burning and it's beautiful, but like it's so fucking like so fucking tragic. It's so fucking sad. Like it's so sad. Like oh man,
Are we gonna get? If oh my god, I'm about to cry thinking about it. We can get the drafts moment.
we have to see like
There has to be
there's
something.
I feel I really want to be like a fly in the wall of like, listen, like these are undeniable. These have to be in this show because these
Yes.
like these scenes are what make Last of Us more than just an apocalypse game. Like I really no.
Yeah.
If there's no
I hate-
draft scene, that's insane.
I hate that I can ask people that have seen the whole show, and I can't. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that to
Man.
myself.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah.
For me, one that you brought up lightly is I specifically, out of Bill's arc, I want to see Frank, because he is casted, and Frank is one of the very memorable side stories, you know, that you never see Frank. You see his corpse, and you get a little bit from Bill and like how they were partners in a romantic and relationship factor and everything, and they had a falling out and everything, and like I'm really curious to see that, right, and get to know Frank as a person who was living with Bill and experience that as well, and see how you know, I mean, at least in the game, it's perceived like Bill was just really rude, which obviously he is a bit of a, bit of a rude
Yeah.
person in the game, but like it's his obsession with this safety, this like obsession of like making sure that he and I assume Frank are safe by these booby traps and this like restrictive nature, right? And like there's a lot that you can read into that, and I'm very curious to see like how we see that all unfold in these shots before the events of Billstown in the game.
Yeah.
That really does have me intrigued for sure. And there's a lot of like really weird stuff. Like there's shots in the trailer where like Bill is like looking over these like security tapes of like
Yeah.
a like mansion that's like not seemingly in the world of Last of Us, because like it's very well kept and the hedges are clean and it looks like just like a regular time. So like was he a security guard at one point in his early life before the pandemic? Like there's a ton there that like I really can't wait to see how they explore it for sure. There's a lot
Yeah.
there,
There's a lot, and I'm very excited to unfold for the
Yeah.
next 10 weeks.
One thing that I go back and forth. I mean, you said that you saw the school in the sewers, right?
They show like it's definitely the sewer area, at least in the story, but it's like it looks like a kid's painting. Like it looks like they could be there. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like I'll send you we'll watch it later or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a moment where it's like that's clearly I don't want to spoil it for the show, but it's clearly the part where it's very pivotal for Sam and Henry's story.
Right.
And I'm very curious how they handle that.
For me, it's is Ish gonna be in this show? Do you know the story of Ish? Yeah, like do you recall that? Yeah. Like
yeah, I do.
I'm like, I wonder if could that be something that like it'd be cool if there's one episode where it's just about the sewers and we see Ish's story play out, and then the second half of the episode is Joel, Ellie, Sam, and Henry going through that same and seeing, that I think would be dope. That would be dope.
That's the thing, man. It's just this is why I kind of wanted them not to say how much was actually in this season,
Right.
because now my expectation it's going to be front to back, right? But now we can't have those moments of exploring other things, like exploring that that little small community that clearly got wiped out,
Yeah.
or exploring like what's going on in Pittsburgh, or exploring what's going on, over here. But at the same time, it's like, maybe they'll tell those stories in another way. Like there could be the hot D of Last of Us, where it is now filling in those other gaps, because there are also characters in the trailers that are not, that I know that are characters, like Melanie Linsky is in the trailer, and I don't know who she is. And also, we don't know. Well, we kind of know who Ashley Johnson is.
Yeah.
But how much of that are we getting? Like, how much are they involved? Are they just getting one scene? That'd be weird. So I'm curious. I am curious about how that gets
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah. We probably should say for the podcast.
No, that's why I'm not. That's
fair. That's fair. Yeah.
I was being vague about it.
We know she's playing. I'm very curious to see that timeline, in that era. Riley.
And is that whole episode by itself, or is it intercut? Like, I want to know.
Yeah.
There's so much I want to know that I can.
There's a lot. And then, of course,
Yes.
speaking of the cast, of the original Last of Us from the game, Troy Baker is rolling with
With David.
Yeah. David's
Yes.
crew. That's okay.
That's wild.
That.
And
I'm
then
with that.
Ashley Johnson show. And then, oh my God, I forgot her name, but she plays her, Malene. Oh my God, she plays.
Malene Doe. I forgot. It's someone. Marlene,
oh my God,
right?
Marlene. Yeah,
Yeah.
the same actress from the game is her.
Yeah, which is dope.
wild.
Yeah,
Wild.
That's
So-
that's so dope. That's
It looks crazy. Like this is the ultimate fan film.
No, it really is. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely some good stuff for sure. We haven't even touched a little bit like on the I mean, you Rob like some like cast members, but like our fucking dad, Pedro Pascal, our fucking dad.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Daddy. Absolutely. It's a mindset.
This is what I was gonna tell you before we started recording, but like we're really about to get a double shot.
God.
We're coming off of Last of Us, right? Pedro Pascal, Joel
Yes.
kills it, right? And then
Yes.
Mando season 3, and we're still in the cut, and we're like,
We're
oh
double
man,
shotting.
it's gonna be lit. I can't wait. It's
Gonna be. Oh my God.
oh, we're gonna be double
God,
shot. That was a good time.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
What do we say is the first half of Pascal month?
Can't
Pascal
wait.
Year?
I can't wait.
It's gonna be.
Can't wait.
Oh,
And then
it's gonna be great.
I've never seen Game of Thrones, right?
Oh, really?
Never seen Game of Thrones. So Bella Ramsey, this is the
Kills
first
it.
time I'm seeing you act. So we're gonna see how it goes. You know what I'm saying? But
I'll say this: finish the show,
Okay.
and then go back to just her scenes as Lady Mormont in the just the show. You don't have to watch. I like Game of Thrones except for the last season. You don't have to watch the whole thing. Just watch her scene specifically. She's a standout. She was a big
Nice.
proponent of like she doesn't have a major character other than these big moments, and it's just because she was a tiny actress,
Right.
and she commanded the scene. So to see her as this version of this character, I'm very curious. But overall, yeah, I'm excited for them. Obviously, Dick Offerman as Bill, which is like
absolutely
wild,
perfect,
wild for me.
Really, really, really good. Yep.
You know what? Actually, real quick, the actor that played Bill in the original game, he was in another movie called Wild with Reese Witherspoon, and he looked just like how he did in the game, and I was freaked out by that.
Really?
He's like, oh, you're a real person.
Oh my God, it's Bill. What the fuck?
Yeah, they just used his face for some reason as his model, and I'm like, oh, great, okay,
nice.
Wow.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
is it does it look?
Yeah,
like
the
him?
actor. And yeah, the actor that played Bill, they actually used his face scan, and he actually is that character. But so when I saw him in another movie, I was like, "Whoa, that's fucking crazy!" It's like because they Joe Ellie, they're recreations of people, right?
Yeah.
Some may say, but yeah, seeing Nick in like 1-for-1, I was like, "Oh, that's off, that's wild."
Damn.
Yeah. But,
What else we got? I mean, is there anything that I guess we talked about scenes that we're really excited for? That was another like question I had, but like is there anything that we're nervous about with this show? I guess is there something that you feel like maybe like you've been stewing on with this show and like you feel like it could be something where they kind of missed the mark in terms of like a show perspective? I can't think of any off the top of my head. I'm sure I do have things that I'm a little bit nervous about, but I can't really think.
No, I mean, the only thing I could think of, and there's no indication that this is the case, but that they just don't have the chemistry between Joe and Ellie, and then that's what makes the series not feel as powerful or important in a lot of ways. If for any reason Bella Ramsey and Joel can't match, even the base scene, I would say that is the moment where the chemistry between the characters really sing is when they're in the car and she's like going through the magazines and they're joking, they throw the porno mag outside the window.
Yeah.
Like that as long as they can capture that and capture the willingness of why Joel will accept Ellie into his life and make her literally the point in which not spoilers, but like choose her versus the world, then yeah, as long as they can actually portray that honestly, then I think we're good.
That's a very good point. Yeah, no, yeah, that's a good point because like it is a bit of like a meta thing. Like when you get to the end of the game and you have to make and there's a choice that Joel has to make, right? Like,
yes,
they pulled that off in making the player feel as invested as Joel is, right? In that moment, right? And like, you're right. Like, as long as I feel like they have that chemistry and they're able to plant those seeds throughout the season and make that end the decision have the same weight as it was to play Joel and escort this young girl across the country, and it makes you feel that way, then I think we're in good shape. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I feel you. There's just a lot to this show. Like there's scenes with Tess that we've never seen in the game before. There's Tommy, which we haven't even touched on. Tommy. I mean, I brought up the little. Oh yeah, absolutely. I brought up slightly about the 20-year gap, right? Like I wonder how much that is in this show. There's a lot here.
There's a lot that we can explore.
Indeed, and we shall see. You know what I'm saying? Sunday, premiering HBO. Is it true that they changed their name on the HBO Max to just Max?
Have
you heard that?
Not that I've seen. Not that I've seen it. To still see it just as HBO Max. It might become the Max down the road.
I don't like that. I think I'll choose HBO Max. You know what I'm saying? I'm with that.
HBO is such a brand name. I just don't know why they would move away from it. Personally.
Yeah.
So silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any last words, Mario? I think we've I think we properly set the stage, for this series, and we'll see how it goes. I want to do episode breakdowns as well as this podcast. We're gonna see how it goes. I think I'm gonna be able to carve out time to be able to sit down, take my notes, to get my footage, but like I hope to accompany each episode with a breakdown of each episode as well. But
Yeah.
that's where I'm at. But Mario, where you got any parting thoughts on this episode 0 of Let's Watch The Last of Us HBO?
Go in with an open mind. Don't believe that it's going to be the world's greatest thing. At the very least, be entertained. If not, then don't be. That's all I can say. Don't give any hate to anyone involved. Don't give any hate to anyone that likes it or anyone who doesn't like it. Just enjoy it and move on. That's the best thing I can describe. That's been my mantra for the last couple of days or so. Just been like, hey, things are good or bad, but there are people behind it that make these things like us. We're the ones making this. Because we have passion, and I feel like that's what we should be celebrated. So are you entertained? By all means, share it. If you're not, it is what it is. But yeah, that's all I'll say. Go in with an open mind. Don't listen to all these articles that are like, it's going to be the greatest adaptation and the curse of the video games. Like, we all know that's bullshit. At the same time, enjoy. That's all I can say.
Yeah. For me, I think I'm coming into this, I don't know if I'm coming into it that differently than like what I thought I would be. Because I think we knew about this show before Uncharted came out. I believe that's true.
I've been thinking about this thing for a long. Well, both those projects actually have been thinking about for a long time. When Marky Mark was supposed to be named Drake, and then if you remember, there was a Sam Raimi version of this story that was supposed to be. I think at the time it was Maisie Williams, which would have been perfect at the time. I love that. A different Game of Thrones actress is now going to be the lead, but. Yeah, that would have been interesting. A 2-hour movie, cram all that story in 2 hours.
Indeed.
No, thank God. Thank God that did not happen.
I don't know. Yeah. Like, I am of the side of like, hey, like if you're going to adapt like a long form game, right? Like chances are probably going to be better as a series. That's But so that's why like I've always been generally more on the up and up with The Last of Us as a series from HBO, their pedigree, their quality, right? Go ahead.
No, that's what I was gonna say. The quality. So this is the part that I think that they need to nail.
Yeah,
is to not have the show look cheap, because so many things when it comes to TV shows is that they don't have the same budget as a movie, which is weird.
Right.
But there are definitely instances of things where they cut around corners because it is a television show. If they could avoid that, fantastic. I'm very curious about that part.
Yeah. It's just like what you said. It's what worries me about like a God of War series, because I'm like,
yes, you could.
How are you gonna make that look good in live action with the budget? Like,
I haven't watched the Lord of the Rings show. Supposedly, it's really very good, well polished, but still.
Yeah, that I have a lot more reservations for, and we'll get to that when we get to that point for sure. But with like a big turning, not like a super big turning point, but like something that makes me like feel a little bit more better about it, right? Is that I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised with Uncharted. I was definitely one of those that were like, I don't know about this. This looks kind of, I'm not feeling it. I was very, very critical of the trailers, etc. Right? But sitting down, I remember clear as day. Like I sat down, like let's just take it for what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not Nolan North. You know what I'm saying? It's, let's just take it for what it is.
Yeah.
I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed the movie. I truly did. I thought that was a good Uncharted movie, wholeheartedly, right? And that just set, I think, a really positive cadence for the future of PlayStation productions, and we'll see how this one does, and like I think overall, like it's shaping to be something good, So we'll see. We'll see. Of course, that it could end up in which either court, but if reviews are to say and what we've seen from trailers are to say, looks like we're gonna be. I think we'll be okay, Mario. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna have a good time. I
think we'll be okay. Mario, where can the people find you?
Yes, of course, you can find me at Twitter at @MarioRivera, where you can find most of my musings and things that I will be sharing. Of course, you can find me at Point in Progress, our YouTube channel over there at youtube.com/pointinprogress, where all of our podcasts will go, our other shows such as MC University, and some other fun things that we're going to be doing very shortly. I'm working on something secret, and it's going to take months, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah, it's going to take months.
Shit.
But we'll see how that goes. But in the meantime, yes, follow me all there.
Links below in the description. And this has been Let's Watch the Last of Us HBO series. We will be coming back with some more TV shows and PlayStation movies, etc. under the Let's Watch brand. But this has been episode 0, of Let's Watch Last of Us HBO. Down below, you can find links to our Discord, our Twitter, and of course our Anchor link that you can listen to our long-form content in podcast format. We got PlayStation Weekly, a new weekly news show where you will not be flooded with the individual news videos that I used to make, because those are a lot of time with not a lot of like, with like, it's not like a lot of time, but you know what it is, Mario? It's like, no one's going to watch my, Days Gone got delayed from like 4 years ago,
Sure.
like, so like I'm focusing this year more on more lore on things that, diving into the games that we love and stuff like that. And you're going to get the news and my commentary on the news in a one upload podcast at the end of the week. That's really where it's at, and I also had to find a way to, cover the TV shows and stuff like that. So here's Let's Watch. And that's about it, guys. Link below, all that good stuff. I'm sure I'll have plenty of Last of Us lore coming in the future. But, do you know the outro for this channel?
I don't.
So I say thank you all for watching. And as always, and then you go, greatness awaits. And we say it at the same time. Like, greatness awaits. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead. We can cut this out.
Yeah,
and
gotcha. Okay. Thank you all for watching. And as always, greatness awaits.
This awaits.
That was, we're good. See y'all episode 1. Episode 1, baby. We'll be back next week.